Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it might take us a little bit longer. Darren's on his way.
Okay.
Uh,
Rodney
isn't
has made me a co-host, so I have some control. So if you want to
okay. Great.
review now, I can send it back up to speaker view.
I don't want that on. Why? You want us to have this? It's going to be all of us.
I'm going to mute all except
Look at me.
for Joel and
We
myself.
can talk through this.
Joel, can you unmute yourself? Where's Joel?
Hey everyone, this is Troy Muhlestein. Can you hear us?
We can, Troy. It's John Gluckman in Vancouver. Thanks for coming on.
Hi, John. Sorry for the confusion.
Yeah, Rodney has an emergency that he had to deal with, so we're just trying to jump in his place. So the purpose of the call today.
Hey, John, your audio is really bad, John.
How bad?
Like, you're really hard to hear.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Let's see if it helps.
We wish Rodney's emergency for him to get through that. Rodney, I don't think you can hear us, but you will in the recording. Thoughts go out to you, whatever your emergency was. And thanks for everyone that joined today. Sorry this ended up being quite late here, but that's the reason why. And Troy is on here, Troy Muhlestein from corporate. And I believe that Richard Smith is also in the room. Darren's on his way, if not here already. And Troy, is your legal team representative going to be there as well here?
I think John muted him out inadvertently.
I did not.
Okay,
We have the judge and jury, but I did not.
my bad.
How do you find the controls here?
Troy, I hear you. Are you able to go ahead and speak now?
Trying to get it connected to a Bluetooth speaker. I had it going.
Okay.
Now
Well,
I can't find my controls.
well, you sound good right now. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joel was asking you whether your legal representative was going to be able to make it onto the call.
Yeah, he's here.
Okay.
He's right now.
Okay. So, Joel, why don't you start the proceedings by asking Troy the kind of questions you want everybody to get the answers to. Okay, Joel?
I was not prepared to be the host here today.
Okay.
So I guess, Troy, we have a nice group of people on here, 46 right now. Thank you again for all joining. And of course, this will be a recording that will go out to many hundreds, if not thousands. So we appreciate everybody being here today. We at some point here, we want to allow people to, I think one of the focuses of this call today was to allow people to ask their questions in light of the cryptocurrency environment in the U.S. and Canada in particular. People have a lot of questions, and they want to be a part of something real. And of course, I've visited the offices at Nui and met all of the founders and owners and feel very, very comfortable myself. And the point is to get everybody else to a level of comfort, and hence this call. So, Troy, I don't know if you or Richard or just want to start sharing some of the pertinent information that people people have questions in the area, or if we want to just go straight into Q&A.
Hey, Troy, I'll jump in.
Okay. All right, Darren's going to take it from here, guys. We'll kind of introduce the TV, a good overview, and then we'll jump into questions.
Great.
Hey, guys. First off, thank you very much for jumping on here. Exciting. Let me grab a chair real quick. Just wanted to say thank you guys for even considering, for hanging in there, for believing in us and being on this call. we are super excited to, one, be working with you guys, but also super excited about our future. And then I'm going to preface this whole conversation because I know you guys got a lot of questions and it's exciting and we'll answer them. We have no problem doing that. We've got our attorneys on here and it's going to be a fun call. But the preface to this whole thing that I want to explain is we started jumping into this over a year ago. And our number one concern this whole entire time is we knew regulation was coming. We knew the SEC, we knew it was going to come. We didn't know when or how or what. And we're not having this call because of what happened to USI or BitConnect or anything else. We've been preparing this for 6 months. We've spent a lot of money. We've spent a lot of time. We've been working with Jones Day on many different conference call, in-person meetings, and just preparing for not what's happened in the last couple of weeks, but what's going to happen from the SEC and regulatory forces across the world. So I just want to preface this whole conversation saying that that's what we've been preparing for. We never know what's going to happen with different companies. And so most of this conversation will be based off of what we've done over the last 6 months and where we are, and then also where we're going. Greg Fernie's here. He'll be jumping on this call. But number one, we're super excited. Our number one goal has always been, and we're going to stick to this from the day till the day we die. Our number one goal is helping 1 million people make $500. And as we keep that focus on that little guy to figure out how that they can win too, we all win. Everyone on this call, you guys have all had success. You guys have crushed it in the crypto world and know what's going on. And as we were looking at crypto a year ago and putting it onto our core platform, it just became overwhelmingly apparent that this is a major play, not just a small one, but it's major. You're talking billions of dollars. It's still the Wild West, meaning, you guys know the regulation's not quite defined, but it's the next wave. We've decided as a company to stake our flag that, blockchain is literally bigger than the internet. The internet opened the world. It allowed everyone to be able to communicate, but blockchain is bringing transparency now. And whether we look at cryptos, because that's what we're talking about, cryptocurrencies, that's just a little fraction, you guys, a little fraction of what blockchain brings to the world. And we as a company have focused hard on initiatives where we're founding all of our products and services on blockchain. So we're excited. We're excited for the next 5 to 10 years. It's a race. It's a race to see who gets their stake and adopts and embraces blockchain. But I will tell you this: I have had the craziest meetings I've had in my entire business career over the last 2 or 3 months, being recognized by the largest companies on the planet that want to partner with us. Everyone, and when I say everyone, I mean you guys see JP Morgan's jumping in, but there are major players in the world that have been silently building. What's that? Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm cutting out. Sorry, guys. But there are companies in the world that are moving forward behind the scenes and publicly, and it's our goal to lead that charge into the blockchain world. So thanks, guys, for jumping on here. What we'll do is we'll do Q&A, and I have my 2 partners. You have Richard Smith and Troy Muhlstein, who are my partners, and they're sitting in another room. And then you have Greg Fernie, our in-house counsel that is working with all the different law firms that we work with. In particular, for this conversation, he'll be addressing a lot about Jones Day and their relevance to the crypto world. So I'm going to turn the time back over to whoever, but I just wanted to, welcome everyone to this call and say thanks for being a part of it. Thanks for listening, and we're excited about our future.
Great. Thank you, Darren. Excuse me. Thank you, Darren. If anybody, I know I was quite impressed with the fact that Nui has retained Jones Day as their counsel, and they are the largest in the United States and 10th largest in the world, with offices all over the world, something like 2,500 employees. If you go to Wikipedia and check them out, they specialize in SEC matters. So kudos to you guys for getting one of the best, if not the best, to work with you guys. So, the big thing that to me, it's not as important of, hey, do they pay this much? Do they pay this much? Can we get this return of capital? Can we do that? Can we do that? It's in the crypto world is it going to be okay? Are we going to get our money back? Is there going to be a regulatory problem? And you never know what is coming down the pike. So all you can do is meet it head on. And that's in some talks that I've already had with Darren and Troy and Richard. That's certainly what they have done and tried to do over the last 6 to 11 months as they put this thing together. So right now, I think many of you have questions, and let's go ahead and try that right now. If you want to unmute yourself and ask Troy and Richard and Darren and their legal counsel there, ask your most burning question so that you can move towards a comfort level to really get behind Nui and Mintage Mining and really make a go of this. I'm so excited because to me, it's diversification in the crypto world, but it's also diversification in the fact that as we're building a team in Mintage, we're at the same time building a team with Nui and what Nui brings to the table. And as I like to say, they share the same pay plan. And so, we're not just building one thing, we're really building two things. And that other thing, even though it has some things related in the crypto space, such as their Kala token, which is probably the most utility token ever put out in the United States, I think. It's actually phenomenal how legal, I guess, it is, and how they've prepared it to be that way. But we're really building two things here at once, and it's really, really exciting. So with that, go ahead and unmute yourself if you have a question and let her fly.
Joel, I've got a question for the legal counsel. Listen, I've got a question for the legal counsel. The most important question I think that's on all of our minds is, what is a security, and have we defined that we, in pooling our money in buckets and with Mintage and Genesis and other players, are we not considered in any way a security because we're putting money in, we're getting a return out? Please define for us why we're not going to be brushed with the same brush that some of these other companies have been brushed with.
Yeah, Greg Fernie here. Thank you for the question.
Okay.
So when we have been going through and analyzing what we are doing, how we can distinguish ourselves, and most importantly, how we can operate in this regulatory environment where we've had not a tremendous amount of guidance in the cryptocurrency space and also with the crypto mining contracts as well. I know that there's a case out there that was brought against a gentleman named Garza. In looking through that, there were different counts that were alleged, but the basis of that particular case were flat out fraudulent actions, i.e. selling hash power to multiple parties and not having the hash power to sell. And I think that that's red flag number one whenever evaluating in the cryptocurrency space here. Is there actual hash power being leased and or a service contract for that particular arrangement? And if so, can you tie it back to the blockchain, and can you verify? So from those perspectives, certainly on our compliance, we most certainly can do that. We can verify that, and we're not in any of those kind of situations where we're drawing a red flag because of that. Getting into the areas that you had mentioned in terms of just our, I'm breaking up.
Yeah, it says Troy's bandwidth is low.
Try again.
Okay. In terms of the definition, we all know, the broad definition of what a security is. Again, what we're doing right here in tandem with our outside counsel is making sure that we're structuring the agreements with the proper language and with the arm's length transaction that is needed and required, so that we are actually, believe that we're falling outside the broad definition of a security. Again, because this space is new, there are guidance that's going to be given, but until that moment comes, we believe that what we've done is to structure us in such a way to keep us on the right side of the balance sheet regarding whether or not we are involved in securities or not.
Now, is there a way?
I'd like to put a little bit of clarity on that. One of the things you need to understand, one of the things you absolutely need to understand is we are not pulling together monies. You are purchasing hash or leasing hash power on the servers of over 30 different clients that we work with, from Genesis Mining all the way through. And you literally are using a service contract that mines that cryptocurrency, and you use an algorithm or what we call our AI to actually mine the most profitable coins and have it delivered. But you literally are purchasing that hash power or leasing it straight up, straight down. We feel like we're in safe harbors. There's some language we're going to modify and change, but you literally are mining for every dollar that you put in. The mining unit represents that dollar that's working for you, creating the cryptocurrency that we're mining currently.
Thank you, Richard.
Okay. Greg Roberti had a question that was interesting. Greg, do you want to pose that question?
Sure. Like I wrote in the chat box, someone had a while back had said that Nui had a phrase in their terms and conditions that one could not be a resident or citizen of the United States. And I understand that's been removed from their terms and conditions, that phrase. I also understood that that same language was in the Mintage Mining terms and conditions. I was wondering if that had been removed or not.
As far as Mintage Mining, I'm not sure what they have done. Mintage is a separate company, and they have their own separate legal counsel. In regards to our terms and conditions, when we originally, because we've been working on this for quite some time, months and months and months, we had originally included that language because at that time we were still working out the regulatory framework in which we were going to be able to offer this as a benefit to our members. We have modified the language based on updated advice and counsel that we have received, as well as some of the modifications to what we are doing. As Richard alluded to, we will even have further modifications just based on the ongoing regulatory environment that we're in. And as we get new opinions, then we make sure that we're in compliance. One of those is absolutely when you or anybody is going to be purchasing a mining unit, that's an actual direct correlation to hash power, and that is directly related to that individual, meaning we are not pooling resources together, and we are not doing a broad fund, so to speak. That's an individual purchase for an individual set amount of hash power. So I don't know, hopefully that addressed what your question is, but as we get updated information, as we make modifications, then yes, it's an ongoing process for us to modify as well our terms and conditions.
Hey, Greg.
Looking over Mintage Mining terms and conditions, and he's not seeing it. So the language has been stricken from both sides, both the Nui side and the Mintage Mining side. Folks, you guys on the line, a lot of what you can do to help us is the culture of which we build with. You need to understand we do not do any trading. We'll never participate in trading. We're not in the business of trading. We're in the business of mining and using hash power on the servers that are spread across the world. And our units are tied to dollars purchased in that hash power. And you guys know as well as anybody that the language we use and the way we message to the field and grow our organization, at the end of the day, you need to understand Nui is a company dedicated in helping people. And when Darren says making $500, he means $500 residual reoccurring income. We want 1 million people making $500 residual. And if that happens, the people on this phone will make literally tens of thousands of dollars as you build out your teams. So we've got two sides of our program. We've got Symmetry, which is our core CALA and Reach Redemption Center. And we're not going to get into that much on this conversation. And then on our other side is our Mintage Mining. We are trying to build up a large, successful network. And when I say network, I'm not talking about network marketing. I'm talking about a network much like ABC, NBC, Clear Channel, or even more importantly, ESPN, because once we can do that and you literally have advertising come through your phone and be able to earn points and convert that into CALA, we will be the first honest-to-goodness utility coin. And we've got some of the major players, not in the crypto space, in the investment world, taking a look at this as an honest-to-goodness utility coin. Because, guys, at the end of the day, there's only going to be two different types of coins: investment coins and utility coins. And we want to be the first best of breed of the utility coin. But in order to do that, we got to get you the decent enough returns from your purchase of hash power over on the Mintage Mining side of things. And we've done everything in our capability to make sure we're in safe waters. So when you purchase that mining contract or that mining lease, I guess is the best way to put it, or service agreement, that money is working for you for those 52 weeks.
Hey, I have a follow-up question to Greg's question. This is for Greg, I guess, over there in Utah. Did I just hear? I think that was Richard speaking. I'm not 100% sure because he didn't identify himself. I'm just guessing here, but did I just hear him say that on the Mintage side, that verbiage about needing to be a U.S. citizen has been removed? Is that accurate?
Nemu.
And the only reason I pose this question is because we are going to be asked this question over and over and over and over again. So we really need to resolve this and get the right answer, if you wouldn't mind.
What do you mean by Nemu?
Of the terms. If you're not logged in, the 3.17 about not accepting U.S. citizens is still there. If you log in and go to resources and go to terms and conditions, it's not there. So there's two different versions.
What is Nemu?
Are you talking about Nui?
No, Mintage.
No, I'm talking about Nui. Nui.social. If you're not logged in, 3.17 of the terms and conditions is still there. If you log in and go to resources, it's not there.
Okay, well then that's just an error on our part that we'll have to make sure that they're synced up. But that was a recent change that we made.
Okay,
what does the Nemu mean?
Sorry?
What you said Nemu. This is Richard. I just want to know what you mean by Nemu.
No, I didn't say Nemu. Maybe somebody else said
Kyle.
Nemu.
It was Kyle.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if Mintage is a separate company, which I understand, then is there a contact person at Mintage that we could contact and ask them about that verbiage on their contract so we could get to the bottom of it? On their terms and conditions?
We would, on their terms and conditions, be happy to, clarify that.
Hey, Greg. Hey, you guys, we have a meeting with the owners today. And Greg, I would just say make that side note to make sure that's one of the things we cover. But back to the evolving, changing, atmosphere we're in. Every time that we're getting updates from different, from our attorneys, we are doing that. So we will put that. We will get you an answer. We'll be sitting with the owner here in a few minutes. So that's something we can track down quick.
Thank you.
Kathy had put her hand up. Kathy Bonham.
No, my question my question was already answered.
Okay, thank you.
No, you posed the question that I was going to pose.
Okay, good. All right. Anybody else with a question?
Gentlemen, just to let you know, you'll see additional changes, after today's meeting as well, based on some of our updated information. And, when you check back on the Mintage site, just be prepared. There will be changes to language. In particular, one of the issues that we'll be removing is the confusion regarding a pool. Because again, it's not a pool of funds. It's actually just as if an individual is purchasing just hash power themselves, and so it's not dependent upon the efforts of the pooling of additional members in order for that one individual to purchase their hash power.
Okay.
Thanks for that clarification, Greg. I know that one thing that we're all concerned about is when there isn't one clear video, and I'm talking about one that specifically pertains to Mintage mining. When there isn't one clear video, everybody starts making their own material, and it just gets out of hand, and everyone's posting on social media and whatnot, and making it very clear that only generic postings can be made on social media, and having Mintage or Nui put out one clear video, and it's made absolutely clear maybe every time you log in that it drops down and says, if you're marketing, you can only use this video. I think that would clear up a lot of issues out there with people saying all the wrong things, because no matter what you do, what you say, people start saying, hey, invest in this and make a return and blah, blah, blah. And that's not what's happening here. So is that something that you have on the docket or can put on the docket to get that one clear video out?
Absolutely. And in the meantime, we are going to be religiously stern on the fact that if you're doing anything in social media, if you are not using the corporate approved PowerPoint presentation, you are completely out of line. So if you're going to go share any part of this, including Mintage, you better use a corporate PowerPoint as we build out our video. We are going to create multiple videos, one on the Symmetry side, one on the Mintage mining side, and one on the compensation plan on both sides. So yes, we are building that out, but until we get that complete and duplicatable, if people use the PowerPoint presentation to get the message across, we feel very confident and comfortable that that's in compliance.
Bruce had a question.
Go ahead,
Bruce, are you there?
Yeah, I am. Can you hear me okay?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, for us newbies here who are not as familiar with what's going on, could you explain the structure or the relationship of Nui to Mintage and Mintage to, is it Genesis, or I'm not sure who the other party is. Could you explain how that's working together, how that's structured, and why it is structured like it is?
Yeah, I can do most of that. This is Darren here. So Nui is a network marketing company that has an exclusive marketing agreement with Mintage Mining. Not one single owner here at Nui or Symmetry or anything has any ownership in Mintage Mining, and that was specific. I don't know if you guys have studied a lot of history on, we were actually trying to buy the company about 4 months ago, and we got steered clear from that directly from Jones Day saying, hey, we need to have this arm's length transaction. So instead of buying it, we got an exclusivity agreement with them. So we still get access to all the inventory that they have, and only us. So that's nice. So that's the relationship there with Nui and Mintage. What was the other organization you said? There were three.
Genesis.
Oh, Genesis. Okay. So when Mintage started, and by the way, there's quite a bit of history. There's a holding company, and they've been doing this for about 2 years. But all the major conversations started May of 2006, last year, 2017, with Genesis Mining, because Mintage was testing out all their, Richard alluded to it, their AI, and using Genesis Mining's platform. Genesis Mining was able to see every single mining, contract issued by Mintage, and got really excited because their results were far, far better than Genesis. And that opened the door to conversations of inventory, opened the door as far as using AI and sharing it and so forth. And I won't go into the details there because there are contracts behind it. But it opened the door basically to get inventory and prove that the AI worked. That's what it all comes down to. Once that was established in kind of a game plan saying, hey, based on performance measures, Mintage gets more and more inventory, Mintage then took that and copied that model with a number of other companies. 3 months ago, Mintage only had 6 different mining partners. Now, when I use that word partner carefully because I've already been told by these guys, hey, if your affiliates call us up, we want nothing to do. We're not going to say we're a partner. We do have contracts. We do have affiliate agreements. We do have those. But to actually be a partner, we don't own equity in you. You don't own equity in us and so forth. So we started getting nervous watching what was going on with the USIs and everyone else. So we expanded. Richard started the call off saying that we have 30 partners. Mintage Mining has gone from 6 to 30 different mining partners. Not only that, and this will be a fun one for you, but they also bought a few $1 million of their own equipment that they're in the middle of installing right now in the United States. When that's available, and hopefully here we can give you some solid answers, but in the next 30 to 45 days, it should be available to us to go tour, kick the tires, and all that. As an additional plus to help the new people coming into crypto mining and understand the process, Mintage Mining has offered to go house, $25,000, $50,000 worth of mining equipment here in our offices so that we have it as a demo and to explain that not only do we have partnerships, but we also have our own equipment, as an additional resource. Our Mintage Mining's philosophy, and I want to explain this. This is really important. The philosophy behind this is, if you watch the crypto world and let's just say we took $100 million and went and bought mining equipment just for Bitcoin. Well, great. If you do the math, you don't break even for like a year and a half or plus. So that's why they roll out 3 to 5 year contracts. Well, what happens if Ethereum becomes the next Bitcoin here in the next year, or a new coin, Ripple, overtakes everything? Mintage Mining, I've sat with the owners, I've known them for 8 years, but the philosophy has been we want to be loose and flexible to go with what's the most profitable at the time. We really don't know if Bitcoin's going to be the biggest coin here in 2 years or 3 years, but we don't want to have $100 million invested attached to one coin. Hence the reason why Mintage Mining is focused on 30 different partners offering a slew of different mining contracts. So I know that was a long answer, but hopefully that helps you guys understand the playing field. And Greg, you can add to that too.
I have a question.
You did a very good job. Thanks.
That was a great answer, by the way. It wasn't too long. This is Robin in Nevada. I was wondering, for the future, like we have a little store in Virginia City that's a collectible store, and we would like to be able to take coins, cryptocurrency. Is that part of our future with this company? Do you think that we'll be able to get into the ATM for cryptocurrency, or helping merchants to use cryptocurrency in the marketplace?
Darren, I'm going to let you have that one.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Richard. Richard, you cannot talk. The deal with that is, we like I said, I started the call off on purpose saying we've taken initiatives to focus the next 5 years specifically on blockchain solutions. I can say this. We believe that we'll have an option sometime, down the road in that space. What's really exciting is the solutions that have come to us from the partners that are there. We don't have anything ready. We don't even have a time commitment, but it's 100% on our radar that it's something we want to address and be a part of.
Darren, this is Bill Akins. I've got a question for you. Let's talk about membership a little bit. Where are you right now with your membership, and where do you expect to be, say, 6 months to a year from now? Two-part question. Let's start with that.
Membership in what? In Nui?
Nui, yeah.
Oh,
All right, current numbers, guys, and Troy, step in if I'm wrong, but we've been pretty quiet about this, but our public numbers are, we have over 300,000 members. Active with Mintage mining contracts, you got to remember, we beta tested this for 3 months before we even let anyone know about it. We only opened it up about 3 weeks ago and have over 7,500 active accounts in Mintage. Where do I see ourselves next year? Richard, I'm actually going to want you to answer this one, buddy, because this is a very exciting conversation, and be conservative, Richard. How would you respond to where we're going to be on membership for 2018?
I'd be glad to be very conservative. Basically, at the end of the day, because we're using our relationship with Mintage Mining to build up a large, successful network, we're also going to roll out some very, very promising things to be able to do both sides. My goal is to be well north of 500 to 1 million active users in Mintage Mining by the end of 2018, with an upside that would be tremendously on top of that. Our whole goal is to create individuals that are greater grand themselves. In other words, carpe diem, seize the day. What we're all about here is putting you in a situation where you can use this migration into the crypto space and onboard the world into this and build large, successful teams that will create a residual reoccurring income from them and for you. But somewhere between 500,000 and 1 million subscribers to Nui using the Mintage product to keep themselves active is a very conservative estimate on my behalf.
Great. Second part of the question actually deals with the Mintage side. And obviously we have 2 ways to earn income. The first is simply to capture each bucket each week, and those returns are spectacular. But we can also compound. And the compounding can get quite costly with, say, 1 million members. Have you thought through, and I know you have to have thought through where that compounding could end up down the road, and is the company in a good position to be able to have enough reserves to cover those compounding numbers when you get to 1 million or even greater membership?
Okay, I'm going to answer that. This is Darren here. As far as the compounding goes, Troy, this is Troy's #1 concern. He hits me every board meeting on this as far as inventory and what Mintage Mining's capabilities are. Mintage Mining feels extremely comfortable in the 25 to 50 million a month range of inventory. The reality is this: we bring 1 million, members into Nui. They're all doing mining. They're all doing core activities. They're just, crushing it. The second you start crossing into the 200, 250 million a month range, well, we're actually trying to get there, because that puts us at the negotiation table with the largest mining company on the planet. You guys may know they have 3 different names, and they operate out of China, and they just went public about moving to Canada because China's trying to tax them on the mining side. So we don't have the capability yet to negotiate big contracts until we're in the 200, 250 million a month mark. And it's our goal to be there by July 1st. That's an internal goal. And once we get there, then we can start to negotiate with them. But once again, you do run out of inventory. Will we run out of inventory in the next 2 to 3 years? I'm not sure. If you are, Bitmain, if you're Bitmain and you have run out of inventory, what would you do as a company? Obviously, you'd spend billions of dollars or more creating the services and the manufacturing and the ability to mine. So when you look at the future of blockchain and cryptocurrencies, it's my belief that it's not going anywhere. It's only going to grow. You're always going to need mining capacity, whether they change it to proof of stake or proof of work. You're still going to need mining capacity, and there will always be inventory. If we run out and take it all, well, then it's a first come, first serve. For the next year, 2 or 3 years, I don't know, but it will at one point, it will max out, and it'll be a first come, first serve.
Darren, I'd like to put my 2 cents on this. I've talked to some of the largest institutional investment bankers on the planet, and the migration that's happening into the crypto space. Listen, there's only 13 major blockchains out there right now, and you've only heard about 3 of them really, and that's the Ethereum, the Litecoins, and the Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. But at the end of the day, there's only about 13. Guys, there's going to be hundreds and hundreds of coins come into the marketplace. And with what Mintage Mining is doing by mining the most profitable coin at the most profitable time, we leverage ourselves into the forefront of whatever's going on. Most companies, they either jump into Ethereum or they jump into Bitcoin. The way that Mintage has structured themselves in and around what we're doing here at Nui is we're going to be whatever's the best in breed, that's the coin we're going to be mining. And we're only at the tip of the iceberg of this crypto space. At least that's what I'm being told by the institutional investments.
Just to follow up on what Bill was asking about the reserve question, it's come up recently in another context that was one of the reasons that another company decided to pull out temporarily or permanently, we don't know yet, out of the United States, is because their reserves were run down to the point where they were concerned about being able to handle the daily withdrawals of multiple Bitcoins by many people every day. Will you be putting any restrictions on how much can be taken out, from your wallet on a daily basis to make sure that you never run out of reserves and you always have at least that 30% that's covering the commission structure always on the sidelines to be able to continue operations?
Hey, so I can answer that because this has been a paranoia of the owners of Mintage. They will not hold a single penny. Every penny that comes in, they pay out immediately. They pay everything out immediately on the spot. So every Wednesday, when the Bitcoin comes in from the contracts, they pay all of it out. Commissions are paid on Friday. Customers and clients that are using the contracts are paid on Wednesday. So there are no limits. They pay the whole thing out. Now, me as a user, I can pull out my Bitcoin every single Wednesday and do what I want with it.
Yeah, you have to come back in and repurchase a new service agreement on a weekly basis, or you're forced to take the Bitcoin that's delivered from Mintage Mining. And it mines the best coin, and then it settles out in the Bitcoin. And if you want to re-enter, you've got to repurchase a new service agreement, which starts the clock from that new service agreement another 52 weeks. So what you're used to and what we're doing is night and day difference. When you purchase a service agreement, you're putting all that money to work for 52 weeks. And every week you make a return and you have to either take it or repurchase a new service agreement. That's just how it works here.
Actually, Richard, to add to that, you can let your money just sit in the wallet too. You can do that too.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Bill, does that answer your question about reserves? Yeah? Okay. All right, go on, Robin.
Hi, thank you. My question is for the little person like ourselves who wants to make an extra $500 a month. What does that look like? How can I train my team in order to duplicate that process to create residual income for people like the baby boomers who desperately need an extra $500 to $1,000 a month?
Go ahead, Richard or Troy.
I'm going to take this one. We have a one-time annual membership of $125, and we have a fast start bonus that the month you enroll, no matter where it is, you have that rest of that month. So right now we're sitting on the 23rd. You'd get all of January and all of February plus the extra month to start your 3 teams. At that point, you get your $125 back. Purchase your first Mintage Mining service agreement then, and just keep hitting the repurchase button and build a team doing that. And if you continue to do that, of course, we pay $5 up the TBS, 10 levels out of 3 teams. Continue to take that front end $5 that you make on every enrollment down the TBS and roll it over to Mintage Mining and buy additional service agreements. And keep doing that until you get north of $1,000. Then teach people how to do that exact same thing. You will literally, within months, weeks, maybe months, you'll be able to make a residual reoccurring income on the front end and also off the mining units given to you through Bitcoin. So you're literally able to break even right away and then start making residual reoccurring income very, very quickly here with Nui.
Hey, I have a follow-up question. This is Attila in Tampa. And gentlemen, I really appreciate you taking the time to be on this call. And this is a unique situation. Not every company does it. So thank you for doing this. It's great. Anything that I ask is because I have to explain things to my team. So I need to know something. First 4 or 5 days that I got into the Nui side, I did bring at least 3 people in, so I earned my 125 back. That money was reflected, plus a little bit more. I think it was a total of 165 was reflecting in the back office of Nui.
Great.
And then all of a sudden it disappeared. And all these $5 started showing up. And I wrote to customer service. Peter was great. By the way, your customer service is to be commended. They do get back to us in a timely fashion, so we appreciate that.
Great.
But I don't understand. What Peter said is it should appear this Friday, the 26th, because it takes a week to verify. Okay. Now, I understand if it takes a week or possibly 2 weeks to pay out, but I'm really confused on why those monies can't be shown in the back office as money due to the member. Why that has to disappear off the screen.
Darren, do you have an answer for that?
No, I don't actually. I want to make sure I understood that situation. So, because it shouldn't be. It should be a running total. I mean, that's the whole point of having the back office. So
it's gone. It's gone. Yeah, I had about 160 pending. And again, I hate to be repetitive, but I'm going to need to properly explain this to.
Hold on. Did you have a Coinbase wallet attached to your Nui affiliate back office?
No.
Okay. Because I know that we pay out in Bitcoin also, and so once we pay, it automatically goes. So let us chase that down, and I can go grab Peter right now to go figure out what that whole thing is about.
Yeah.
So let me address how it's going to go going forward. Right now we're Tuesday to Tuesday on the front end of this thing, so the 125 and the $5. The following Friday you'd get paid, and it'd roll to your wallet. And that's how it's going to work like clockwork. So the week that you earn it in, the following Friday you get paid, but there's no reason it should disappear. So we'll track that down and make sure that that doesn't happen anymore, because that's unacceptable. People need to know what they've made and rely on it. So
well, that's all. Listen, that's all. We're all big boys and girls. That's all we ask for. We want to see what we're due. If it takes a week or 2 to get paid, we understand that. That's not a problem. But let us see what we earned.
Hey guys, Bill Boussier had an interesting question that I had been wondering about as well. And basically right now, when you're looking in your mintage under the events where it enumerates the bonuses and overrides, it gives you the information about the numbers. So if somebody had put in $1,000 and he was a bonus or first line to, you'd get 10%, so that's easy. If it was an override, you'd know that it was 2%, so you can multiply it by 50 times and figure out what he or she had put in, but you have no idea who it was that put in those amounts. Is there a reason that that's hidden, or is there a way that we can learn who of our teammates in our matrix are putting what kind of money in, so we have an understanding of where to work and where to focus our attention on people that are building it?
Wonderful. So, you know what? I would love to be able to say we will be able to do that, but because of the Privacy Act that we've encouraged here at Nui, we are not going to be able to tell you exactly what every one of your members have purchased in mintage mining contracts. What we do want to be able to do is report every one of your tiers and how many new units are purchased on that tier. We also want to be able to report who's active and who's not. We're sorry that just the very notion of how we're doing it, a lot of people, we've got people that come in with millions of dollars and they want to be private. They don't want it publicized how much money they have to work. We're working for them in minting.
We get that. So you don't foresee a way of sharing with us some kind of information or nuance as to who in our matrix are the real movers, other than us talking to everybody and finding out what they're doing. There's no other way that you can foresee giving us an insight on that?
You'll be able to see tier by tier the volume that's being created, but we're not going to be able to let you know the individuals that are purchasing big mining contracts. No.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, folks?
Yeah, well, just a couple questions.
Go ahead.
Hey, this is Keith Bliss. Thanks for joining us. I've been on one of the calls with you guys, and I'm gleaning lots of information, taking lots of notes, and of course, asking questions too that are going to be asked me. So one of the questions is I see you guys are promoting Coinbase. Is there a reason for that? Because there's a lot of opinions that sway both sides of Coinbase, and in my circle of influence, it tends to be on the negative end of it, because as I understand it, they control both of your keys, the public and private keys. So let's start with that one. Then I guess the question on transparency.
Darren, do you want to answer the Coinbase
Yeah, it's real simple. Coinbase is the most well-known, user-friendly. My personal opinion is I can't stand them. We have an initiative to roll out our own wallets. We don't have a deliverable date yet, but that is, you guys have no idea. Coinbase is the easiest, most well-known, but I've got a lot of problems with it. It's not our long-term solution. It's what works for right now.
Okay, I disagree on the easiest, but we'll move on from there. Transparency.
No, I don't believe it's the easiest at all, but the numbers prove it. They netted $1 billion last year.
Well, yeah, it's kind of interesting. I just had a pop-up a minute ago from Bitcoin News. Coinbase is making $2.7 million a day. Transparency. On the contracts and the mining blocks, are we going to see who some of those contracts are with, or see some of the mining blocks?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if I said it on this call or another call, but I will say this. I know it's being recorded because it's pretty exciting for us. We've put 5 months behind the scenes putting this together, but we're building something that we've actually already filed patents for too. So we're building something very interesting. And once again, this is being recorded, so I don't have a deliverable. But we knew, 8-9 months ago that one day what's happening in the industry would happen. And so what if you could attach and show every single mining contract and prove it through blockchain, you're good to go. Well, there's many, many, many companies that don't show anything. So 5 months ago, we came up with this idea to build an exchange for mining contracts. Basically, you copy the bond market and you go use it as far as these, hash, petahash contracts, right? The mining contracts. So we've been building it. We know that was going to be our ace in the hole that we roll out. I don't have a date for you, but the second we do, every company on the planet's going to have to prove up. Now, that being said, every single company has different regulations or ways of reporting.
Oh, you broke up, Darren. Darren, you broke up again.
Yeah, Darren, we lost you.
It sounds like we lost him. Every single mining contract will be reported on a blockchain scenario, and we're going to be the most transparent mining organization with mintage mining, and we're doing that because we literally want to be the world's onboarding into the crypto space. both in the symmetry side and on the mintage mining side. And so we're going to be as transparent as it gets. So that was a great question, and Darren gave you the best answer he could. And we are frantically having mintage mining build that out. There has been patents filed, there are patents pending, and I don't even know, it might be completely issued. So we're on track with that.
Hey guys, I have a couple quick questions. This comes from one of my top leaders, and I echo the first question he has. The second one, I'll start with the second one first. His question was whether or not it's a possibility to establish some sort of a suggestion box on your end so that folks could send. You know, we've got a lot of good people, a lot of professionals that come from corporate America too on our teams, and we could certainly lend some great ideas, and just give me your thoughts on that in a moment. And the first question is it possible, and I feel strongly about this as well, to send us an email when somebody joins in our organization? Because right now we have no idea. When somebody comes aboard, we do not get a notification that, you know, John Smith has just joined your team.
Yes, let me answer the first question first. Yes, there will be a place for you to submit questions, and there will also be an advisory board placed together with Nui, and there will be people probably from this call that will be invited to, and there will be a short-term seat that only lasts about a year, but we literally want your input because we feel like we're co-creating this with you.
Right.
This is a company dedicated in making the individual great, and that's why we chose our name, Nui, which is in Hawaiian Greater Grand. Now, let's talk about the other side. Yes, we'll get emails for every enrollment that happens in your personal enrollment network, as well as we want to let you know transparency of what's happened in your team building structure, the 3x10 matrix.
Great. Thank you.
And we should be able to give you a timeline on that real quickly.
Super.
Hey, can we expand on that? I have not gotten versed on the back office of Nui yet, but what kind of information are we going to see from our team? Are we going to see a name, phone number, and email on everybody?
Everybody that's on the team building side of things, so your personal enrollment tree, which is a unilevel, which unlocks the tiers, yes, you're going to get all that information that's already there. Because of the spillover nature of the team building structure, we are not going to do that because of cross-recruiting laws and things that get really messy if we give it over there. But on your personal team, so everybody you enrolled and so on and so forth, and who they've enrolled all the way down, you're going to have contact information to work with your team.
Okay, great. I appreciate that, and I understand that on the cross-recruiting. Very, very, very important. What about levels of growth? Are we going to see where people are at on their growth?
Yes, you will, and it's back there. You go through the tutorial and go to the blog and go into the back office. It's very, very intuitive, and it's only going to get better from here. So we're excited about that. Hey guys, I'm the only one left on the phone, and I'm late for that meeting that they've all gone to. So one or two more questions, and we'll call it a day.
Yeah, and before we do, I just wanted to thank you guys. I have to step in this other meeting, and it is with the owners of Mintage Mining, and it's a legal meeting. So thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. Richard, time back to you, buddy.
You broke up again, Darren.
So I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Speaking of the owners, who are they? When did Nui start? Are the owners listed on the website? And is the company profitable at this point? Did I come
The company is profitable. We have no structure to speak of. In fact, we're making payroll. Yeah, you did. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Hello? Yeah. Real quickly, we are a debt-free company. We make payroll on the overhead with mining units, to be quite frank and honest with you, and we're proud of that. So in other words, the same way you're getting returns, we're making payroll with that. As well as, yes, if you go to the white paper, so if you go to Kala, K-A-L-A, token.io and read the white paper. There's a write-up of the executive team of Symmetry and a write-up on the 3 founders. We are reworking Nui's website, and you will be able to get a bio on all 3 of us. It's Darren O'Lyon, the CEO and co-founder, and Troy Muhlstein and myself, Richard Smith, are the founders of this company.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Sounds good.
When did Nui start?
Nui started as an official entity in June of last year. Prior to that, we were doing business as Divvy, which was the advertising or the Symmetry side of things. And Darren, with his brightness and his forward thinking, moved us in the crypto space. And there was a lot of, well, quite frankly, in Japan, the word Divvy didn't translate very well. So we wanted to go to name the representative, and the Hawaiian term of Nui came up, and we were really excited about that because we're all about making people as good or great as they possibly can. So June of last year is when we became Nui.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, folks, thanks very much for coming. Thanks for being patient with us with the start with Rodney's challenge. I'm going to stop the recording now.